So as you guys know, Bitcoin has been dumping. Just in $200 million worth of crypto, longs have been liquidated in the past 60 minutes. And the sad reality of this is a lot more people are going to get liquidated, right? So I was talking about this. I predicted this. I've been telling everybody, hey, we're in a rising wedge. As you can see here, rising wedges are bearish patterns. When you have a rising wedge, I think it's a 72% or a 78% win rate to the downside if you're trading to the downside. And all you got to do is type what is the win rate of a rising wedge. And when I say win rate, it's a win rate assuming that we are shorting Bitcoin, right? If we assume that we're shorting Bitcoin, we're winning when it's going down. So as you can see, overall success rate in bull markets is 81 cents. So if we're in a bull market and we're going through a rising wedge, you have an 81% success rate, but we're not in a bull market. We are in a bear market. So it's not as accurate, right? After a downtrend, it's about 51%, right? And then if it's bearish, then you got about 60% of the cases it's going to be going down. And this is coming directly from TradingView. They do their own teaching stuff. And I'm just looking over here at the see our numbers. I gotta see our numbers. So yeah, shout out to everyone that's tuning in. So like I was mentioning before, I do believe that we're going to have a pullback even lower than 60K, right? And there are a few instances where it doesn't go all the way down to 50K. One of those instances would be if it is a bullish double bottom. And double bottoms are bullish signals sometimes. Sometimes you can have it do a double bottom, right? So what that would look like here would be us coming down from here, boom, once, hits up here like it just did, boom, and then comes down again and then pumps and breaks out. But it doesn't always happen that way. And I don't think it's going to happen that way this time. Just the same thing with this one. I was like, hey, it's a possibility it could be a double bottom, but rising wedges will override your double bottom. And that's exactly what this rising wedge did. Not only was this a rising wedge, this was also an ascending triangle within a rising wedge, which was the bull trap scenario, right? So if we take off all this, because I know you guys are probably looking at this like, why does this thing look so crazy? So look, we could take off all this real quick. Even our Fibonacci, like everything but our rising wedge. And over here you can see we have the ascending triangle within the rising wedge. So as you can see, the rising wedge could also be seen as this pattern right here, which is called a bear flag. A rising wedge, a bear flag, same thing. It doesn't necessarily have to create that wedge as long as it's going with it in that bear flag scenario, right? So as you can see here, this rising wedge was bearish. We broke out, we dumped, we kept going. Now we're in another rising wedge, but it's a much smaller one. We broke out, we went up, and we kept going. So broke out, went down, and kept going. And then as you can see here, we had an ascending triangle within our rising wedge. So as you can see, this was the bull trap. This is what made people think that we're going to continue to go up because we had an ascending triangle. Ascending triangles are bullish patterns. So we did break out bullish in that ascending triangle. But the issue with us breaking out bullish within that ascending triangle was it was a bull trap. We got trapped. And I might have said bear trap a few times. I meant bull trap. It was a bull trap. We got trapped. Well, y'all got trapped. I didn't get trapped. I already knew what was going on because I seen this rising wedge within that. So that is the basis of that. And I have all this stuff on my screen because I trade for a living. This is what I do. So I need my micro and macro support areas for day trading. So I got to keep all this on here. But like I was mentioning before, the same scenario is happening again. Now, in what type of instance could this be a different pattern? Well, there's a lot of different ways we can spin it. We could also spin it like, look, this is a descending triangle. We could spin it like that. Descending triangles are bearish patterns. So that's definitely something that you would want to pay attention to, because bearish patterns, we have a double bearish pattern, right? We have the rising wedge, and we have what is looking like it is a descending triangle. So if we look at this, we're like, okay, another bearish pattern, descending triangle. So as you can see, descending triangles right here, super bearish, right? And I'm kind of new to streaming on Kick, and I usually don't stream even on YouTube. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. So I'm gonna make sure that my audio is playing right. So you're gonna hear echo for a second. So I'm gonna make sure that my audio is playing. All right, audio is playing perfect. It's going perfect. All right, good. All right, so let's get back over here. So yeah, this is also a descending triangle, which is also a bearish pattern. So we have two bearish patterns all in one, which is a good thing if you're shorting, bad thing if you're going long. Not only that, I like this indicator here made by Upslide Down. It's called the %R trend exhaustion. The short-term trend is the white line. Long-term trend is the blue line. So we've actually just now got rejected here with this long-term trend and the short-term trend. Now, is there a possibility that it could curve upwards and try to go up again? Yes, but the trend is downwards now for both the short and long-term trend. And then not only that, we had our bullish divergence, right, on the MACD. And let's go ahead and bring this up. Bullish divergence on the MACD is higher lows on the MACD and lower lows on the charts. And that's what we had. We had that at first, right? But in doing that, what do you see here? You see that we created bearish divergence at the same time. So that it doesn't always happen like that, but it just now happened here. Lower highs on the MACD. So, and we had the higher highs, which kind of created our rising wedge. So now we're also having the bearish divergence. So this is going to end up causing us to come down to 60K here. And if we break 60K, we don't have support until 50K. So we don't have support until 50K. I'll show you exactly why in a second. I just like to look at my streaming metrics here, because, you know, this is the first stream I did on Kick. So I want this stream to do well. Like I was mentioning, we don't have support until 50K. So if you come back here and you look all the way back here on the charts, after we break down below, well, technically 53K, we have support. But after we break down below 60K, you don't find any support till technically 53K. And then 50K. 50K was good support and good resistance until we had the next breakout here. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a second here on the daily chart. You can see before we went up here back in 2024, the beginning of 2024, we had what we call a bull flag. Bull flags are the complete opposite of bear flags. So bull flags, let me show you guys instead of just saying it. Bull flag. It's probably going to show a flag of a bull. No, okay, actually it showed the real one. All right, good. So this is a bull flag, right? You can also see bull flags as falling wedges, which are also bullish patterns. So bull flag, falling wedge, whatever you want to call it. If it's not a wedge, it just goes down like this, then it's just a bull flag. If it's a wedge, it's a falling wedge, right? Which is a bullish pattern. So anyways, we had the bull flag beginning of 2024, well, March 2024, and we went through here, and we also had this resistance area right here at 50K, which was a major resistance, not really major resistance, but it was a resistance that we broke past and then retested very briefly before we kept going. And we had a huge gap from 60K down to 50K. That gap is going to be the one that we're going to clear very quickly if we break down, because we typically clear that area at a fast pace. So if we break 60K over here, you're going to see that gap getting cleared pretty fast. So if we look at our price range here, from where we are now down to 50K, we're looking at 21%. We're looking at a 21% drop if we go from here to 50K. People are about to get burned. People are about to be sad. People are about to be very upset. But the people that are going to be very happy are the ones that know how to trade and know what they're doing in trading, right? I don't want to act like I'm a guru here, but there is a strategy I'm going to be taking personally. Now, if you look at the MACD on the daily chart, it'll look a little bit weird here to you, right? Because if you look at the what the price just now did, it pulled back to a significant support area. So I'm not really trying to short Bitcoin until I see it break 60K, right? I want to see it break 60K first, because if we don't break 60K, what if we continue upwards here on the MACD on the daily chart and we continue to have more buying pressure? This lightly shaded green area here indicates that that's selling pressure coming in, but it's still predominantly buyers ruling the market. So the thing here with this is, if we see this starting to change into this red area here on the MACD, then that means the selling pressure is starting to come in. But we don't have that confirmation, personally, in my opinion, until we hit 60K. That is what I'm waiting for. So 60K is that confirmation area for me. And once the market opens in the morning for you guys, because I'm on the other side of the world traveling in Asia. But look, once the market opens in like the US and stuff, you could look at something like MicroStrategy. I day trade MicroStrategy all the time pretty much. And it's gonna open in the red, right? It's gonna open at a very, very negative price, and that is also going to cause Bitcoin to start dropping, because everything's probably gonna open negatively, because just bad news going all over the world, stuff going on in Mexico. Is just everything's looking bad right now. So what I'm waiting for is the open of the market, because when it does open, MicroStrategy is going to be what I'm going to be putting puts on in the stock market, because MicroStrategy is a Bitcoin treasury company. It's probably going to open around $120, maybe $125, $120. But after that, it might continue downwards towards 114. So that could be an opportunity here for me personally. I'm not going to say for anyone else, because I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice. But yeah, I do think we're going to continue to pull back, in my personal opinion. I think we will have more pullbacks here inside the market. We went below our 65K support. 65K was a very significant support area back here. Actually, let's pull up the 4-hour chart. That's going to look a lot better. A lot better. So yeah, 65K has always been that significant area for us for support here. As you can see, we had 65K support right here. And I guarantee if we come back here even further, we're going to see that 65K in more areas, right? 65K August of 2024. 65K support over here. October of 2024. A little bit of support here on early October 2024 as well. If you come back to the bear market of 2023, no, this isn't 2023 yet, but we had 65K support right here around the 16th of May 2024. 65K resistance right here. I'm gonna start doing that so you guys can actually see. The 7th of May 2024, 6th or 7th, whatever one. And no, I did not say 6 or 7, but it literally is May 6th or May 7th. I ain't doing the whole 6-7 thing. All right. 29th of April 2024, we had resistance around the 26th of April 2024, resistance support right here. This is a significant area. 65K is a very significant area, and we just broke it, and that could be very bad. That could be very, very, very bad. Let's pull up the daily chart now. And then on the daily chart here, 65K was major resistance on that first double top. Double tops are bullish signals, so that's why that happened back in 2022 going into 2023. I mean, they're bearish signals. So here is what a bearish double top is. That's exactly what happened back here going from 2021 to 2022. Boom, 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 boom. Double top. And then on top of that, we had a head and shoulders pattern. Boom, 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 boom. And head and shoulders patterns are also bearish. So we had two bearish signals breaking us down back inside of 2021 going into 2022. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because 65K was that resistance area. 65K was the area of resistance that really set it off, right? That really rejected us back in April 2021, the time of Elon Musk saying Dogecoin was a hustle. I made a lot of money on that trade. I sold it right before he said it was a hustle. And I think it was at like 60 cents, but I sold it right before he said it was a hustle. And I was happy that I did that because it went down really, really fast. But yeah, the head and shoulders pattern is very, very prevalent all over the market. And then we had another bearish double top just now. And that's why I knew we were going to crash inside of this market, because not only did we have a bearish double top, 1, 2, 1, 2, boom, bearish double top. We also had a bearish expanding triangle. This is a bearish expanding triangle. These two lines here create the bearish expanding triangle, right? So this is what a bearish expanding triangle is. Bearish expanding triangles are bearish signals. And then we had a bearish double top. And then on top of that, we had a bearish head and shoulders pattern. So we had so many signals telling us that it was bearish, which is why I was like, yeah, I'm out. One, that's the left shoulder. That's the head. That's the right shoulder, which broke the camel's back and then sent us into oblivion. So yeah, it's actually very, very easy to track this stuff if you spend all your time tracking this stuff. And that's what I do. I spend all my time tracking it. So guys, follow me on Kick. Follow me on Kick. I'm going to be streaming daily. And yeah, I'm going to be streaming daily. Well, we only got like 2 people in here right now, but it's going to grow. For the 2 people that are watching, which is probably me as one of them, because I got it up right here. Actually, let me close that. So I think I got like 1 person watching, but hey, shout out to you for watching. Let me know what you want me to cover. But other than that, I'm going to keep going, and this is going to eventually build up as I start posting these clips onto YouTube and other platforms, and I'll be bringing people over here to Kick. So yeah, I want to see some support for my channel here on Kick. So if you guys can, definitely support that. We're waiting for 50K here for Bitcoin. Now, I don't think that we're just gonna dump after 50K. I think we're gonna have a nice relief rally after 50K. So once we hit 50K, there's gonna be a nice relief rally. And there was something that I was talking about in my last video on Bitcoin on YouTube, which you guys definitely need to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I put some good info out on that. But I'm gonna start doing everything exclusively on Kick. If you're watching this on YouTube on the playback, because I'm going to be clipping it up and putting it on YouTube, go to kick.com/Marcellus, and literally follow me. Kick.com/Marcellus. Because I'm telling you now, there's no longer going to be the exclusive videos on YouTube, exclusively streaming on Kick for now on. So just come over here and go to kick.com/Marcellus, because I'm going to be exclusively streaming on Kick. And that is going to be how things are going to be for the future. And then I'm going to be cutting the clips up Kick. Oh, wait. And that is, yeah, I'm going to be cutting the clips up and putting them on YouTube for the people to consume over there, and putting clips all over the place to bring that traffic to Kick. So yeah, guys, help me get monetized on Kick. Help me get into KCIP, KPP, whatever they call it, the Kick Partner Program. And if you guys have ties with Kick, I know the CEO, I think his name's Eddie, and they got some other people, like, get me put in with them, guys. Get me put in with them. I'm trying to grow on Kick. So if you guys have those mob ties with Kick, link me up with Kick. But what I want to talk about next is going to be why I think we're going to have a relief rally once we hit 50K. So there's something that happens during every cycle in Bitcoin, right? Look at this trend line. So first of all, the bull market started January 1st, 2023. I say this all the time on my YouTube channel. The bull market started January 1st, 2023. This bull market, look, January 1st, 2023, boom. First green candlestick of the bull market launches. Also, the %R trend exhaustion shows that is when the buy signal came in. The percent R trend exhaustion is a free indicator. It's created by Upslide Down, so you guys can get it yourself. But yeah, that was the signal to hop in, right? And if you don't know what it is, let me just kind of introduce y'all to this percent R trend exhaustion right here. Percent R trend exhaustion. This is such a good indicator. It's completely free, and I'm not even affiliated with them. I just found it on a YouTube video one day, and I've been using it ever since. But yeah, that was the start of the bull market, January 1st, 2023. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because if you scroll all the way out here, you can see this trend line right here, right? And you can see where it broke that resistance of the previous all-time high back in January or December 2017 going into January, which started that bear market. But you can see in every single bear market, we have a massive relief rally, right? The January or the 2018 relief rally was an 80% push to the upside. 80% push to the upside from 6K up to 11K. And the reason why this is so important is if you look at this trend line and then you look at where that relief rally stopped, it stopped at the trend line. In this relief rally, the previous one back in 2022, that one was only 45%, but it went from here all the way up to that trend line. And then it got rejected at the trend line because it can't enter that trend again because it's in a bear market. So when you come back here and you look at it, if I were to create a trend line, it would probably nearly line up to it. Yep. And I didn't even know that it would actually line up to it. I just kind of said it would nearly line up to it because I was like, I can't be wrong. This is my analysis. I can't be wrong, right? Anyways, it lined up to it perfectly. I didn't even have it marked. And I actually never spoke about this, like the 2018 bear market on any videos and how it lined up. I just knew that it would line up because that's how it works. And then you can see here, the same thing, 2022. It lines up because that's how it works. And now look at the new trend line. 2023 up until now, 2026 and 2025, we did hit that, kind of almost hit that trend line, right? We almost hit that trend line. It went up 21%. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I have a theory that I've been talking about on my channel. And my theory is, what if we hit 50K, then we have a massive relief rally? Highly unlikely, but it would be 100% push upwards. Highly unlikely because we've kind of already hit that trend line, right? We've already hit the trend line over here. So it's highly unlikely. We've kind of almost hit the trend line, right? Like we got very close to it. We were like 2% away from it. So I think this was the relief rally previously, right? From November 2025 up till January 2026. I think that was the relief rally that we were waiting for. So when we come down here to 50K, if we come down here to 50K, I say we probably come up to like 50% up, maybe 70K, and then continue to dump maybe 60K. Or we have a massive relief rally and hit the top of that, and hit the top of this trend line, like 110K or something crazy like that, and then just dumping from there. So there's a lot of different things that this could be, and also 108K just so happens to be right there. That is the previous resistance for that last rally. Now, what I also want to mention here, so there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot of research that I put into this stuff. I just want to take everything off the screen so I can show y'all this. Another head and shoulders pattern, but the right shoulder was a little bit deformed. The right shoulder is like this, all right? So head and shoulders patterns, super bearish, super bearish. And we also had this left shoulder, head, right shoulder, a little bit deformed. And then you can see the other one, head and shoulders pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Head and shoulder patterns are very, very, very accurate. Also, if you see it in tandem with a double top back here, You're going to see it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. Double top. If you see it in tandem with a double top, you know it's going to be bad. Head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, double top. So when you come over here and you look at the same thing, you would get the same results. Double top, double top, double top. I'm not going to zoom in because I don't feel like it. Massive head and shoulders pattern, followed by the other head and shoulders pattern. All right. All right. So now we're gonna get into the shorter time frame, or the longer time frame. I mean, we're gonna go to the weekly chart. All right. Now the weekly chart, I'm gonna have to take all this off because that's gonna screw me up. It's gonna screw me up. So, anyways, I've been dedicated on YouTube for a while now. I'm dedicating to Kick. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And I mentioned a few days ago, 50K Bitcoin coming soon. I actually mentioned this a few weeks ago. But yeah, Justin billionaire Peter Thiel fully exits Ethereum treasury with ETHZilla sells entire stake. You know, apparently someone said that Peter Thiel funds Kick. If he funds Kick, he needs to, you know, fund me. Like, if y'all got some connects to Peter Thiel, like, hey, get that money coming in. Get that money coming in. I'll definitely do some. I'll do collabs with whoever. Right. Let's get some funding, some investors. Yeah. So we got a lot of people live here right now. Got Claviculars, Nico, Academics live. Then we got all these people. I don't follow these people right now, but hey, Ice Poseidon, Nina Dream, XQC. We got some big names over here. Some big names live. I'm gonna be one of those big names on Kick eventually. Just a matter of time. But look, this is the MACD on the weekly chart. Lots of selling pressure. Lots of selling pressure. Whenever you see it lightly shaded red, that means buying pressure is coming in, but selling pressure is still predominantly stronger. Right now, you're seeing a lightly red shaded candlestick there, which means selling pressure is still here, but a little bit of buying pressure is coming in. So if you zoom in like a zoomer and do your the 30 minutes here, you can see a little bit of buying pressure is coming in. The %R trend exhaustion is showing a current uptrend here. So anyone trading Bitcoin, it's probably going to end up coming up here and clearing this gap up to 65K. What did I say before? 65K, massive resistance, massive support. 65K is that level that you always want to watch. So you come back over here to the 30-minute chart, and you're probably wondering why I keep putting these white lines back on here. That's because I like to trade and I do day trades. So I need these lines. I need them. But look, horizontal line right here, some resistance at 65.8K. I predict Bitcoin will push up higher to 65.8K, possibly pull back and try to get to 66K, or possibly just trying to get to 66K without pulling back. Possibly, right? The MACD, we see buying pressure coming in. So let's see if that switches into full-on buying pressure. And we're seeing the uptrend here in the %R trend exhaustion. About to get that signal, almost like a buy signal, but not necessarily. We'll see if it pushes up higher. 5-minute chart shows this is the 5-minute short-term trend on the %R trend exhaustion, pushing long-term trend pushing up. Once that short-term trend reaches the overbought area, you're going to start seeing it pulling back. It might get all the way up there to that second red line, which is the max that it can do. The max that it can do is all the way up there. But typically, if the long-term trend hasn't followed it all the way up there, it'll stop right around this area here. Kind of like how we've had here, here, and here. It might stop midway, something along those lines. So what we're looking for is the short-term trend coming up to about here, pulling back, and then that'll pull back the long-term trend, and it'll pull back the price as well. So again, I want to see a push up to 65.8K. Let's see if it happens. If not, cool. Shorting would be the best option if it doesn't do that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The 1 minute chart is showing we have overextended. We're overbought on the percent R trend exhaustion on the 1 minute chart for all you day traders out there. So a little bit of a pullback is imminent. Completely expected. Just let it pull back, let it do what it does, and watch. So yeah, you just watch it, let it pull it back. See all that buying pressure, that was good. Now we're pulling back, getting some selling pressure. Shouldn't be a lot, but we'll see. Also another thing, let's draw this out. This is what we call a ascending triangle. Ascending triangles are bullish patterns. So if I wasn't yapping about the longer term time frames, we would have caught this before it even happened. So ascending triangles are bullish patterns. When you see this happening, that is called a bull trap. And then they bear trap you right after they bull trap you. And this happens all the time inside of trading. You got to be extremely careful. You never take your trade until you get confirmation. So even though ascending triangles are bullish patterns, we do not take trades until we get confirmation. You do not take the trade until the ascending triangle breaks past that. Right here is when it broke down. You could have easily taken a short, let it go down a little bit, and then once this happened and it started doing that, you could have just got out here, got a little bit of a profit, and then longed it up here. But there would have been no idea of what was going to happen after that. So, you know, sometimes you win some, you lose some. So yeah, we're waiting for that. I need to get all these white lines back in here because, yeah, I need these for my day trades, So yeah, let's wait for that. All right, let's pull this, pull up this. All right, waiting for some stuff to come in on the chart, some buying pressure. My mind is all over the place. All right. But yeah, $200 million worth of crypto longs liquidated in past 60 minutes. That's actually crazy. That is actually crazy. We're on Telegram. Follow us. 65K. Bitcoin falls under. Some rejection right here on Bitcoin. Yeah, percent R trend exhaustion, pulling back. Like I mentioned, we should come back. Doesn't necessarily have to pull all the way back now. Does not have to pull all the way back. And even when you look at things on like a micro time frame, you still see the same patterns. Left shoulder, head, lower right shoulder, head and shoulders pattern. So you still see the same patterns over and over again, no matter what you're looking at. If you're looking at the long-term charts or the short-term charts, you still see the same patterns. So, you know, it is what it is. The right shoulder oftentimes is smaller than the left shoulder. So now we're getting a push upwards. Let's see if that pushes higher and does a continuation upwards. This is the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, the percent R trend exhaustion is showing some, like it's got some support, but we'll see. It may or may not have support right there. But yeah, this is interesting. Let's see how it plays out actually. Yeah. There you got me on the screen right there. I'll put out this YouTube post. So, let's wait for this to see what's going to happen. In the meantime, while that is doing its thing, let's just look at some Watcher Guru news. Just in, President Trump says Netflix will pay the consequences if board member Suzanne Rice isn't fired. Just in, President Trump increases global tariffs on all countries to 15% from 10. Then he says, wow. Yeah, Trump's just attacking everybody. Inverse Kramer is rarely wrong. That's actually right. Like, if Jim Cramer says something's bullish, you better go bearish on it. If he says it's bearish, you better go bullish. Like, whatever Jim Cramer says, as long as you do the opposite of what Jim Cramer says, you'll probably do pretty well. It is what it is. Like, you'll probably do fairly well if you go the opposite of Jim Cramer. But let me just teach y'all some technical stuff here. Symmetrical triangles are some of the least reliable triangles, right? It could be a bullish symmetrical triangle or a bearish one. It could go either way. The problem with symmetrical triangles is they have like a 50% chance of doing it's like 51. I think it's like 51 or 52% for the bullish ones and a little bit less for the bears. I don't know, like, they're terrible. They're terrible signals. My favorite signals are ascending triangles. Those are some of the signals that I win on the most. And then rising wedges for puts and shorts. Some of my best bearish patterns. Descending triangles are fairly accurate as well. Falling wedges are all right, but sometimes you can't trust them. But if the falling wedge is structured more like a bear flag or a bull flag, that's when I like to follow it more, when it's structured more like a bull flag, right? So divergence usually are good. Bullish and bearish divergence on the MACD, they're good. Double bottoms are good, and head and shoulder patterns and double tops are good. I don't really pay too much attention to the bullish expanding triangle because they get rejected a lot at the top of that trend line of the bullish expanding triangle. So yeah, those are just some of the patterns that I have saved that I like to look at.